Chapter 1. The Power of Focusing on You. In a world filled with constant distractions and endless demands, the most powerful thing you can do is focus on yourself. Rebuild yourself isn't just about self-improvement. It's a call for a life-changing transformation. Imagine that your life is like a building, and you are the architect. The foundation, your mind. The blueprint, your goals, your growth, and your journey toward becoming the best version of yourself. This chapter is about realizing that in the chaos of life, your greatest responsibility is to nurture and rebuild yourself. Focus on you every single day. It's not selfish. It's necessary. By dedicating time to yourself, you can create a strong, balanced foundation for your life that will allow you to rise above the noise and demands of the world. This is your personal revolution, and it begins with a single decision: to prioritize your own growth. When you focus on yourself, you can make smarter decisions, stay clear of distractions, and ultimately build a life that reflects your true potential. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Small, steady steps towards becoming the best version of you, each day. Please help support the channel by hitting the subscribe button and liking the video. Thanks for inspiring us to create more content for you. Chapter 2. The Importance of Self-Care. We often hear the phrase self-care, but too many of us mistake it for something selfish. It's easy to think that focusing on yourself means you're neglecting others. But here's the truth. You're not selfish, it's self-care. In fact, taking care of yourself is one of the most important things you can do. Not just for you, but for everyone around you. Think about it this way. Imagine you're on an airplane and the oxygen masks drop. What do they tell you to do first? Put your own mask on before helping others. Why? Because if you're not breathing, you can't help anyone else. The same goes for life. If you're running on empty, overwhelmed by stress, or constantly distracted, you won't have the energy or clarity to help the people who matter most. Self-care is not just about pampering yourself or taking breaks, though those things are important. It's about making sure your mind, body, and spirit are strong, healthy, and ready to face whatever life throws at you. It's setting boundaries, taking time to recharge, and investing in your personal growth. As the famous quote by Jim Rohn says, "Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live." Your body and mind are your most valuable assets. When you take the time to care for them, you're building a foundation for everything else you want to achieve. I remember a time when I was caught up in the hustle, working nonstop, always helping others, but feeling drained and unfulfilled. It wasn't until I started carving out time for myself, focusing on my health, and developing my own mind that everything else started to fall into place. My relationships improved, my energy increased, and I found more clarity in my goals. Self-care isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. And by prioritizing it, you're setting yourself up for success in every area of your life. You can't pour from an empty cup. So, start taking care of yourself today. Chapter 3. The Power of Setting Boundaries. One of the hardest things to do in life is setting boundaries. We've all been there. Saying yes when we really wanted to say no, overcommitting, and letting others take too much of our time and energy. But here's the truth. Boundaries are not walls. They are gates. They protect your time, your energy, and your well-being. Think of boundaries as a shield. If you're constantly allowing others to cross your personal space, whether it's emotional, physical, or mental, you're leaving yourself vulnerable. Boundaries aren't about being harsh or cold. They're about being clear and respectful with yourself and others. When you set boundaries, you're showing that you value your time and your peace of mind. A great quote that sums it up is from Dr. Henry Cloud. Boundaries define us. They define what is me and what is not me. A boundary shows me where I end and someone else begins. Setting boundaries teaches others how to treat you. It's not about pushing people away. It's about creating a healthy space where you can thrive. Let me share a personal experience. A few years ago, I struggled with saying no. I was always the one people turned to, and I wanted to help. But over time, I began to feel exhausted and resentful. I realized I was putting everyone else's needs above my own. I had to learn to say no, gently but firmly. It wasn't easy, but once I started setting those boundaries, I felt more in control, more focused, and less overwhelmed. Boundaries also help you stay focused on what matters most. When you're not stretched thin by other people's demands, you have more energy to focus on your goals, your health, and your own personal growth. Remember, boundaries give you the space to be your best self. Setting boundaries might feel uncomfortable at first, but it's necessary for your well-being. Don't let guilt or fear hold you back. Start small. Set one boundary today and see how much better you feel when you protect your peace. Chapter 4. Embracing change. Change is one of the few constants in life, yet most of us resist it. We find comfort in the familiar, even when it's not serving us anymore. But here's the reality. Embracing change is the only way to grow. Without change, we stay stuck in old habits, old ways of thinking, and old patterns that limit our potential. Imagine you're a plant in a pot. If you never change that pot, your growth is restricted. You'll eventually outgrow it, and you won't be able to reach your full potential. The same goes for life. If you don't embrace change, you'll outgrow your current circumstances and feel trapped. The key to growth is learning to welcome change, even when it feels uncomfortable or uncertain. As the famous quote from Albert Einstein says, "The measure of intelligence is the ability to change." Change isn't just about adapting to new circumstances. It's about evolving, improving, and becoming the person you were always meant to be. Every time you face change, you have an opportunity to become better, wiser, and stronger. I remember a time in my life when I was terrified of change. I stuck to what I knew, even if it wasn't making me happy. But eventually, I reached a point where I realized that if I didn't make changes, I would never grow. So, I took the leap, starting a new career, moving to a new place, and letting go of old beliefs. It wasn't easy, but it was the best decision I ever made. Each change I embraced brought new opportunities and new lessons that helped me become more confident and fulfilled. Change doesn't always have to be big and dramatic. Sometimes it's the small changes, the new habits you develop, the new perspectives you adopt, that make the biggest difference. Don't be afraid of change. Welcome it as the doorway to your next level of growth and success. Chapter 5. Rediscovering your passions. It's easy to forget what excites you when life gets busy, but reconnecting with your passions is one of the most powerful steps in rebuilding yourself. You might think finding your passion is a huge, intimidating task, but it's simpler than you think. Start by thinking back to your childhood. What did you love doing? What activities made you lose track of time? Maybe it was drawing, playing a sport, or reading books. Often, our childhood interests are clues to what we're naturally drawn to. For example, I remember when I was younger, I couldn't stop talking about building things, whether it was toys, models, or anything I could put together with my hands. Now, as an adult, I realize that I still find joy in creating and fixing things. It's a passion that's been with me all along, even though I didn't always recognize it. But passion doesn't have to be something from your past. Pay attention to what excites you in the present. What topics do you find yourself reading about late at night? What activities make your heart race with excitement? These moments are signs that you're on to something meaningful. Maybe you're drawn to learning about business, health, or spirituality. These are your passions trying to get your attention. Remember, it's okay if your passions change over time. Life is full of growth, and what excites you now might not be the same as what excited you 5 years ago. And that's perfectly fine. What matters is that you're honest with yourself about what truly interests you today. Don't let the pressure of societal expectations or what others think sway your journey. This is your life. Your happiness depends on following your own path, not someone else's. Sometimes, rediscovering your passions means trying new things. Don't be afraid to explore interests you've never considered before. Life is a continuous journey of self-growth and discovery. Who knows? You might find a new passion that excites you more than anything you've experienced before. Rediscovering your passions will be the fuel you need to rebuild yourself. They'll guide you, motivate you, and remind you of who you truly are. When you follow what excites you, you're building a life that's authentically yours. Chapter 6. Cultivate self-awareness. To rebuild yourself, the next step is to cultivate self-awareness. This is the process of understanding who you really are, the good, the bad, and everything in between. Think of it like opening a book that's all about you. Each page is filled with details about what you value, what you fear, what you're good at, and where you need growth. It's not always easy, but it's the only way to uncover your true self. Self-awareness begins by being brutally honest with yourself. Take a good look in the mirror, not just at your reflection, but at your inner self. What are your values? What do you believe in? What do you want out of life? These are the fundamental questions that will help you understand yourself better. And don't be afraid to confront your weaknesses and fears. We all have them. Recognizing them is the first step in overcoming them. A quote from Socrates says, "Know thyself." This ancient advice is still relevant today. The more you understand your true nature, the more control you have over your life. When you're aware of your strengths, you can use them to your advantage. When you understand your weaknesses, you can work on improving them. Cultivating self-awareness takes time and effort, but it's essential for your growth. The clearer you become about who you are, the easier it will be to make decisions that align with your true self. Remember, the journey inward is the path to your most authentic life. Chapter 7. Understanding yourself. Be your own detective. What truly motivates you? What sparks your emotions? The truth is, no one knows you better than you do. You are the expert on yourself, and it's time to embrace that. Think of yourself as a detective. Your mission is to uncover the truth of who you are, to understand what drives you, and to recognize the patterns in your thoughts and emotions. Start by listening to your internal dialogue. What's the voice inside your head telling you? Is it uplifting, or does it pull you down? Our thoughts shape our reality, and if the narrative in your head isn't serving you, it's time for a change. You have the power to control your thoughts. You can choose positivity over negativity, self-love over self-doubt. This is one of the most powerful tools you have, your mind. But cultivating self-awareness isn't a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process, a lifelong journey. There's no finish line. Be patient with yourself as you learn and grow. Every day brings new discoveries about who you are, and with each discovery, you evolve. The more you know yourself, the better you'll understand others too. Self-awareness improves the way you relate to the world around you. It helps you make better decisions, form healthier relationships, and live a life that's more in tune with your true desires. Remember, this process isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Every step forward is a step toward a more authentic version of yourself. So, be kind to yourself along the way. Let it happen naturally, at your own pace. Chapter 8 prioritizes your well-being. As you begin to understand yourself more deeply, it's equally important to prioritize your well-being. Knowing who you are is one thing, but taking care of yourself is where the real change happens. You are your most valuable asset, and it's essential that you treat yourself with the same care and compassion that you would give to someone you love deeply. Prioritizing your well-being is not selfish. It's the opposite. It's about finding balance in your life. Balance between your physical, mental, and emotional health. When you take care of yourself, you become stronger, more grounded, and able to give your best to the world around you. But remember, taking care of yourself isn't just about the big decisions. It's the small, everyday choices that add up. Start by listening to your body. If you're tired, rest. If you're hungry, nourish yourself with healthy food. If you're stressed, find ways to relax and recharge. Your body is constantly communicating with you. It's your responsibility to listen, respond, and take action to care for yourself. Also, don't ignore your emotions. Acknowledge them. Let them be felt. Suppressing your feelings only leads to internal stress. When you allow yourself to feel and process your emotions, you make space for growth and healing. Emotional well-being is just as important as physical health. Take time for yourself every day. Prioritize your well-being, and the rest of your life will begin to fall into place. Chapter 9. Understand your emotions. Emotions are a natural part of life, and understanding them can give you deeper insight into who you are. It's easy to suppress feelings like sadness, anger, or fear because they make us uncomfortable, but it's crucial to give them the space they need. Emotions aren't there to define you. They're signals that something within you needs attention. Imagine your emotions as messengers. When you feel angry, it might be because your boundaries have been crossed. When you feel sad, it may be a sign that you need to release something you've been holding on to. And fear, while uncomfortable, often signals the need to step outside your comfort zone and grow. Understanding your emotions gives you the ability to work through them in a healthy way instead of ignoring or suppressing them. It's okay to feel these emotions. What matters is how you respond to them. By acknowledging and processing your feelings, you give yourself permission to heal and move forward. Ignoring or pushing emotions down only creates emotional baggage that affects your well-being. Instead of seeing negative emotions as something to avoid, try to understand them. Reflect on what they're telling you about your needs, your values, and your desires. Remember, emotions don't last forever. They ebb and flow, and often, once you process them, you'll feel lighter and more at peace. It's about balance, allowing your feelings to come and go without letting them control you. Chapter 10. Develop healthy habits. Building healthy habits doesn't have to be overwhelming. It's about starting small, making gradual changes that add up over time. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't need to transform your entire life in a day. Instead, focus on making one small change at a time and let it grow naturally. Start by considering your daily routine. Are there areas that could use improvement? Maybe you want to eat healthier, get more sleep, or exercise more regularly. Pick one habit that's meaningful to you and set a clear, achievable goal. For example, instead of saying, "I'll eat healthier," commit to replacing your afternoon snack with a piece of fruit. It's specific, simple, and actionable. Consistency is key when it comes to habits. It's far better to stick with a small change consistently than to try to do too much and give up. Building habits takes time, and there will be moments where you struggle. But that's okay. Every challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow. It's important to be patient with yourself. No one becomes perfect overnight. As you stick with your new habits, you'll start to feel the benefits. Not only will your body become healthier, but your mind and emotions will feel the positive impact as well. The beauty of healthy habits is that they become second nature over time. What starts as a small change today will become an essential part of your life tomorrow. You are worth the effort, so keep going and keep focusing on taking care of yourself every day. Chapter 11. Embrace personal growth. Have you ever stopped to think about the vast potential inside of you? It's limitless, uncharted, and just waiting for you to explore. Embracing personal growth is all about unlocking that potential. It requires you to step outside your comfort zone, challenge your limits, and be open to new experiences. Personal growth isn't always smooth sailing. In fact, it's often filled with bumps along the way, but that's what makes it so rewarding. The journey of growth isn't about having everything figured out right now. It's about recognizing that you are a work in progress, and that's perfectly okay. Life is about learning, adapting, and evolving. You don't need to have all the answers today, and you certainly don't need to have your life completely figured out. Allow yourself the grace to make mistakes. Mistakes are not failures. They are stepping stones to your growth. Each time you fall, you learn how to rise stronger. This mindset is essential in personal growth. Cultivate a growth mindset. Believe that you can learn, adapt, and overcome any challenges life throws your way. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, view them as setups for comebacks. You are capable of more than you realize, and every challenge is an opportunity to prove that. Setting personal goals is another key part of embracing growth. Think about where you want to be in the future and what steps you can take to get there. It doesn't have to be grand or overwhelming. Break it down into small, manageable actions that will move you closer to your goals. Whether it's learning a new skill, reading more, or improving your fitness, every small effort you make adds up to significant progress. Chapter 12. Reflect on your values. When rebuilding yourself, it's crucial to identify and reflect on your core values. These values are the principles that drive your behavior, influence your actions, and shape your identity. They are the inner compass that guides you through life, helping you navigate difficult decisions and complex situations. Values are more than just abstract ideas. They're the bedrock of your character. Think about a time when you had to make a significant decision. What guided you through it? Chances are it was one of your core values. For example, did you choose honesty over convenience? Did you prioritize family over career advancement? These decisions reflect the values that define you. To discover your values, take a step back and reflect on your life. Think about your actions, choices, successes, and failures. What patterns emerge? What themes are consistent throughout your experiences? Your values might be qualities like honesty, courage, loyalty, creativity, or perseverance. Once you've identified your values, embrace them. They are what make you unique, and they should be honored, not suppressed. Reflecting on your values is more than just knowing who you are. It's about loving and accepting who you are. Your values shape the path to self-improvement and guide you to a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. Don't be afraid of your values, even if they differ from societal norms. They are your own, and they are powerful tools for growth. Embrace them, honor them, and let them guide you toward becoming your best self. Chapter 13. Set achievable goals. Now that you have a deeper understanding of your core values, it's time to use them as a foundation for setting goals. But remember, setting goals isn't about dreaming up impossible feats. It's about creating a realistic path forward. The most important thing is to align your goals with your values so that every step you take leads you to a life that truly represents who you are. Instead of viewing goals as towering mountains you must climb, think of them as stepping stones along your journey. Break your aspirations into small, manageable chunks. For instance, if your goal is to improve your health, focus on taking daily walks, drinking more water, or cooking healthier meals. These small steps are just as important as grand achievements because they lay the groundwork for bigger success. Remember, personal growth isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. It's not about rushing to the finish line, but about enjoying the process and learning from each step. Set high goals, but keep them grounded. Understand your limitations, and use them as a way to push yourself even further. The key to success is persistence, not perfection. Don't be afraid of failure. Every mistake is a lesson learned, and every setback is an opportunity to grow stronger. When you stumble, take a breath, learn from the experience, and continue on your path. Keep your eyes on the prize, but also remember to appreciate the journey. Chapter 14. Practice self-care routines. In your journey of self-rebuilding, practicing self-care routines is essential. Self-care isn't about indulging in occasional treats or pampering yourself once in a while. It's about taking the time every day to nourish your mind, body, and soul. Think of yourself as a garden. To grow, you need consistent care, sunlight, water, and nutrients. In the same way, you need to nurture yourself to truly flourish. Your body needs exercise, good food, and rest. Your mind requires stimulation, peace, and mental clarity. Your soul craves love, joy, and a sense of purpose. A self-care routine includes activities that address each of these needs, helping you feel balanced and grounded. Start by integrating simple activities into your day that recharge and refresh you. A morning jog can energize your body. A quiet meditation session can clear your mind. Reading a book or listening to music can nourish your intellect and soul. The key is consistency. Make these activities a part of your routine, and soon enough, they will become second nature. Never feel guilty about taking time for yourself. In fact, prioritizing your well-being is one of the most important things you can do. Remember the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. Taking time for self-care isn't selfish. It's necessary for your health and happiness. Chapter 15. Foster meaningful relationships. While focusing on yourself is essential, it's also important to foster meaningful relationships with others. We are social beings, and our connections with others are crucial for our well-being. Building and maintaining strong, positive relationships helps us grow emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Start by surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. These relationships will encourage you to be the best version of yourself. It's not about the number of people you know, but the quality of the connections you have. Healthy relationships are based on trust, respect, and mutual growth. Whether it's family, friends, or colleagues, invest time and effort into nurturing these connections. Be mindful of toxic relationships that drain your energy or hold you back. Sometimes, letting go of certain people is necessary for your own growth and happiness. Don't be afraid to distance yourself from negativity. Remember, relationships are a two-way street. They should add value to your life, not take it away. In addition, make time for the relationships that matter. Relationships take effort, but the rewards, love, support, and mutual respect are well worth it. Treat others the way you want to be treated, and you'll create a network of meaningful connections that help you on your journey of self-rebuilding. Chapter 16. Foster meaningful relationship. In our journey of personal growth, it's easy to focus on the individual aspects of self-improvement, goals, habits, and mindset, but we often neglect the relationships that truly enrich our lives. These connections are not only essential to our emotional well-being, but they also provide support and encouragement that can help propel us forward in our self-rebuilding journey. Think about the people in your life. Are your relationships nurturing your personal growth? If not, it's time to reevaluate. Building strong, meaningful relationships isn't about the number of friends you have, especially on social media. It's about the depth of the connections you cultivate. It's about surrounding yourself with people who truly understand and support you. These are the people who celebrate your victories and help you pick up the pieces when you fall. I remember a time when I was caught up in trying to impress everyone around me. I spent so much energy maintaining relationships that didn't serve me, just for the sake of appearing popular. Over time, I found myself drained, both emotionally and mentally. It wasn't until I let go of those shallow connections that I realized the power of quality over quantity. I began nurturing relationships with a few people who truly added value to my life. They made me feel heard, understood, and inspired. I learned that true friends support your growth. They want to see you succeed and are there for you during the tough times. Don't be afraid to let go of relationships that drain you. It's not selfish, it's self-care. You're allowed to choose who gets to be a part of your journey. As the saying goes, asterisk, you can't pour from an empty cup. Asterisk if you don't nurture yourself by surrounding yourself with positive, supportive people. How can you offer that same energy to others? Remember, building relationships is a two-way street. It's about giving as much as you receive. Nurture these bonds by engaging in honest conversations, sharing your dreams and fears, and showing empathy. It's the little things, like checking in with a friend when they're struggling or celebrating their successes, that strengthen the bond. The love and respect you give will create a safe space for mutual growth. Meaningful relationships are invaluable. They teach us patience, empathy, and love. They help us see life from different perspectives and challenge us to become better people. As you work on rebuilding yourself, don't forget to build connections with others. These relationships will help you see your own growth, and they'll be a source of joy and motivation along the way. Chapter 17. Unlock your creative potential. Every day is an opportunity to tap into your boundless creative potential. We all have the ability to create something from nothing, to find innovative solutions, and to express our unique ideas. Creativity isn't limited to artists. It's a mindset that you can apply to any area of your life. I once struggled with feeling stuck in a routine. I knew I wanted to be more creative, but I didn't know where to start. I tried drawing, writing, and even cooking to spark that creative fire, but nothing seemed to ignite it. What worked for me was identifying my passion. I spent time reflecting on what excited me, what made me lose track of time, and what I couldn't stop thinking about. Once I rediscovered my passion for storytelling, everything else fell into place. My creativity was unlocked, and I found new ways to express myself. Start by finding what excites you. What makes your heart race? What are you constantly thinking about, even when you're supposed to be doing something else? These are the things that will fuel your creative spirit. Once you've found your passion, don't let it sit idle. Use it. Nurture it. Let it drive your actions and decisions. Next, surround yourself with inspiration. This can come from anywhere: nature, books, art, people, or even silence. Creativity thrives in an environment rich with stimuli, so absorb everything around you. Let your senses soak it all in, and then allow your imagination to run wild. Remember, creativity isn't just about creating beautiful art. It's about approaching problems from new angles, thinking outside the box, and challenging the status quo. The world is full of creative solutions waiting to be discovered. You don't need to be an artist to be creative. You just need to think differently and embrace the process of innovation. Don't be afraid of failure either. Creativity is a process of trial and error. Mistakes are part of the journey and can lead to breakthroughs. Learn from your failures and use them as stepping stones to reach your creative peak. Unlocking your creative potential is an exciting journey that can lead to a wealth of opportunities. It's time to discover the power of your imagination and see what amazing things you can create. End of episode 1. Kindly check our page for next episode and more audiobook. Unlock more wisdom and inspiration. Subscribe to Peak Mind Audio on YouTube today.